Mama tried to save us from the streets, but the streets was too strong. We here, back again. Streets is a Myth Part 2. Showtime in the building.
Buddha.
Who else we got here, man?
That's a special guest, man.
Demetrius, otherwise known as D, Meech. You know.
Varsity B _
Yo, like, y'all gotta.
Oh, you gonna get right into it. Okay.
The streets is the
Let me
Myth.
start
Part
with
2.
Start from the beginning, man.
Realize the streets
New
was
pop.
over. And y'all, you gonna go around. Start it off, Rob.
For me, it was like, it's funny because my mom always used to tell me, and I just remember when I was young, my mom used to like show me. We lived in the Bronx at the time, and we lived close to Horizon. So while I used to be in Burger King, getting my little French toast and whatever I was getting, she used to show me like the little kids on a yellow cheese bus going into Horizon, and she used to be like, "Yo, this is what happens when dudes can't, stay focused, stay sharp. Schools can't handle you." And I remember year after year her giving me the same message, but it didn't hit until I got into college and I seen the lifestyle people was living in college. Other dudes, black, from Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, but these was like the dudes from the hood that was trying to better themselves. And once I got a smell of that college air and that environment, I was like, damn, they was tricking us the whole time. You know what I mean? It was a whole nother world. The girls were still there. The money was still there. Like everything that we was doing, even down to the drinking, party, all of it was still there. But everything was positive, and that was my first moment where I was like, damn. Luckily, I made it to this point, so I was able to see it at 17 years old, and from there, it was on. I was like, I came back to the hood every time, but every time I came back, I was a little bit better. I was a little bit sharper, and now y'all see, what we doing now, so that was my moment.
I realized my moment when the streets was over, when 6ix9ine got embraced and was calling shots. That's how I knew the streets was over, bro.
That was a wild moment.
He came out, people embraced him. Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, right.
He getting embraced, he calling shots. That's how I knew. He had to fall back, and that's over. St. Clair, when did you realize the streets was over?
I realized the streets was over when the youngest became the OGs, right? Because I remember when I was a youngin', the OGs was older. So I got a little bit older, and the youngins was the OG. You like 18 and you an OG, right?
Crazy.
I said, this shit is over, right? Because the kids is determining what's happening, right? And the grown men is following this shit.
That's crazy.
I said, oh no, I'm done. I'm done. I'm out.
That's that big bro culture. Like your uncle calling you big bro, and you the uncle, and that's your nephew.
Yeah, like how is that even possible? Like they don't know enough to even be an OG, but they's given the position. Oh no, it's done. Yeah, that's when I realized.
All right, D, when you realize the streets
I'm gonna take it all the way back. I'm gonna take it a little bit deeper. I'm gonna take it back to the 70s and 80s when it was a survival game, and that's what birthed the whole street mentality, because it was the haves and it was the have-nots. You know what I'm saying? So people got in the streets and was doing things in the streets like selling heroin, selling coke, doing burglaries. You know what I'm saying? The breaking and entering. They was robbing. If people don't know, Brooklyn, like certain individuals around my neighborhood in Flatbush, they was known for breaking into your apartment and robbing your crib. You know what I'm saying? So back then, when you get caught, the consequences were minimal. You know what I'm saying? You might get a slap on the wrist. You might get probation. You might get a 2 to 4. You might get a 3 to 6. And at that time, dudes in the street were able to handle the 2 to 4s, the 3 to 6s. You know what I'm saying? If you caught a juvenile, if you was a juvenile, you'd be out in no time. You might go to Spofford. They might try to scare you up. They'll take you up there. You might spend a day, 2, or whatever. Your parents come to get you. You back out, and you doing what you're doing. So, but this is when it changed for me. And when I seen it change is when they enhanced them sentences. Because people will have free reign, and they'll do what they do as long as the consequences aren't that heavy. Once them consequences became heavy, then you saw who the strong ones were and who the weak ones were. And everybody wasn't willing to sit for 10 years, 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Because you used to get shootings in New York or get caught with guns and slap on the wrist. You know what I'm saying? Or you do 3, 4, 5 years. Now, how much time you doing if you get caught with a gun?
The bullets, right? They give you.
That depends, right?
Yeah.
Like, cause my brother went through that, so he did 3 years, right? But the parole was 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, they keep you caught up in that.
Yeah.
But when they came out with them sentence enhancements, when dudes start getting life for drugs and all that, that's when the streets changed. Because what happened was, dudes that was talking that talk and couldn't really hold up to that, they start folding. That's what create beefs on the street. He snitched on me. He's a pussy. He's that. He's this. You know what I'm saying? Then you go up north. You serve your time. You come back out, you know, and you got a lot to say about this dude who is out there. And it creates a whole street rift, a whole division amongst a community. And that's when I figured out the streets was dead because they giving up too much time. And dude, any person in his right mind, you ain't trying to sit for 20 years, man. Well, you want to sit around a bunch of men for 20 years, man. Yeah. And that's when it changed. If you realize it, mass incarceration and all of that happened when they enhanced them sentences. So you took the males out of the household for decades, and you got little boys being raised by who?
One mother.
You know what I'm saying? And the
Barely
mother's
the
not,
woman.
yeah.
Barely.
So you got to realize that whole dynamics is deeper. Like, it seems like it was by design in my mind. It was by design, man.
100%.
Why you said Bailey woman? Because I heard that and I'm like, you know, I want to build on that a little bit too.
Because the parents is not raising the kids anymore, right?
Social media.
Social media is raising the kids, or the OGs, right?
Quote unquote.
Quote unquote,
But
which is
like,
the kids.
Is there any real OGs out here?
No, not anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Not
saying.
anymore.
So you got a little bro raising the kid.
We could break that down because, you know, it's been a lot of confusion on that whole OG term. So, in your eyes, what is an OG? What is an OG responsibility to the community?
It's to lead, just simply to lead, right? But now it's not that. The OG, who we would consider to be OGs is not leading, right? They're actually part of the goddamn problem.
That's a fact.
Right. So it's they're not here anymore, right? And the few that's here, they're working people. They're not even involved. And that's the problem.
And those are the OGs to me.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that get up in the morning and go to work, pay taxes, and all of that type of stuff, because it's very hard,
Correct.
right? To get up
Yep.
5, 6 in the morning when you don't feel like getting up and being on somebody else's time, because you got to get there at a certain time or else you'll lose your job,
100%.
you know?
Uh-huh.
Or you could be called into the office like, hey, this is like the 10th time you showed up late, or 10th time you've been missing this year. So it's a lot that goes into that working and having somebody tax your check. Because I look at my check all the time and I'm like, it took like 65% of my money.
Mm-hmm.
But that's gangster to me.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, I feel like we gotta change the narrative of gangster. Like, people like, oh, gangster shooting up. Gangsters to me, like how you said, getting up in the morning, take care of responsibility. Even if you don't want to get up, you getting up, do what you gotta do. Like, that should be
Gangster to
That
me
should
is
be
being
high
a
up
man,
as gangster. Yeah, like,
standing on some type
doing
of
your
principles and protecting your community. That's what I was taught.
First, what we got
Leading and protecting, leading by example, not by what you say out your mouth, because that used to be the problem with me when I was young. I heard dudes talking, but I'm looking at how they moving, and how you moving is contradictory to how you what you saying out your mouth. So how could I respect that?
that's a fact.
How could you respect that?
Was you about to say single?
I don't like to use the word "what's gangster" and put it in the same sentence as being a responsible person, right? Because the word gangster just have a negative connotation to it anyway, right? And you can't just take something that has a specific meaning to it, right? An actual definition and say it means this now. Gangster does not mean that, right?
But
Those
they
are two
doing
different
that
things.
now, yo.
But that don't make it correct.
Slap it, yo,
That don't make it
gangster.
correct. You understand? That don't
So,
make it
safety, gangster. Yeah, like you saying gangster to confirm.
Like, yo, that's gangster.
Yeah.
And
Or
it's
just
not.
like
Like
you
it's
say
saying
something
that's
like a
real.
fact. Yeah, like
Yeah,
you
it's
say
like
something
saying
that's
that's
like
facts.
Yeah.
I'd say to little kids sometimes, not little kids. I mean, just to the youth out there. I'm like, yo, make sure you get home safe, man. Take care of your mom,
Correct.
gangster. And I'm like, but
Yeah,
this the
I
youth
think-
now. I'm like, oh man.
You can't say that, right?
They
Because
always
it's
say
still,
gangsta out of everything. Like, I'm
Well,
like,
in a
like,
way, I think it's good
it's
that
not
you
good.
kind of change the meaning because
No.
you take away from the negative connotation
Yeah,
of the
that's what I'm
word.
trying to
Just
say.
like how
That's what I'm trying
they
to say. Like, take
just
the
like how
negative
they
shit
said
from it.
nigga. You know what I'm saying?
that's how
And
I
now
say it.
everybody
Change
says
it up.
nigga, but now they say it as a term of endearment.
Embracing, like,
When
yo,
back
man,
then it was
nigga.
the white man calling us nigga, and it was something to be
That's basically
shunned.
what I'm saying.
Listen, there's 4 major disabilities within people, right? And one of them is learning. 98% of people have a learning disability. So if we're using the wrong wording, right, and we're trying to change the definition, the average person is not going to get it. Because they only going to know gangster, thug, and shit like that. So we got to use the correct terms. Because we learn differently. We interpret things differently, right? So I don't say the gangster thing. I don't do that.
I have this saying, right? I feel like back in the day, the street dudes, back in the day, the rappers want to be like the street dudes. Nowadays, the street dudes want to be like the rappers. So it's like chemically balanced. Like shit is like off now.
Well, the street dudes are the rappers now, right?
Yeah.
I was just looking at YouTube, right? The Bo Mayo guy, right, from Brooklyn, right? He was allegedly selling drugs in PA, right? But he was also a gang member. But he was a rapper too, right? So he's a gang member, drug dealer, turned rapper.
Allegedly.
I mean, he's a rapper, so that's like I seen videos, so he rap, right? But the thing is the street niggas are the rappers.
That's true.
But the actual rappers that's not street, they cosplaying. So this whole shit is confusing, man.
It is.
Yeah, because the whole thing, like if you get into the streets, it was like say less, man. You don't go around promoting what you're
Correct.
about. You don't go around talking about, who you got a problem with and all that. If somebody violated, like this is how I come. If somebody violate, you really ain't like it wasn't talked about. Like you just knew, like yo, son handled that.
Internet.
Correct.
Niggas on the internet.
I mean, how you
What did he
always
do?
get away with
Niggas
something?
know what I'm
on
saying?
Clubhouse right now.
Publicized it and put it on the internet. Like I just seen, the famous artist Take K. He went on a run and shot a video while he was on a run, and he was like posted by his wanted sign. Like, and I see why they doing that because it's mega viral.
Correct.
Like he went crazy. The joint still get viewed, but he got sentenced to 55 years.
And he
So
got
it's like-
another murder. He's fighting right
He
now.
going
so
that's what I'm saying. I
that
seen the
shit
court
is
case,
not-
him going to murder
Yeah, it's
for
not
another
worth it.
case on top of the
Yeah.
55 years he already got
And
sentenced.
he's
And all of that,
Yeah.
like, they just keep playing a court video with him. I ain't did the case, bitch, I did the race.
he's never coming
And he
home.
went viral. I go for the culture, picked him up. They put him on the platforms. He went crazy, and now he's in jail. And you see in his court cases, he's grown now. He was like 15.
Oh, wow.
Now he like 19, 20. You see the whole, like,
got a
he
cut
got
on
a big
his
cut
neck.
on him now. You see he
Yeah.
going through it. And I'm probably sure that everybody's like forgotten about him and moved on.
Correct.
And he's having those thoughts now. Like, I would love to interview him just so he could tell everybody, like, yo, that's not it.
Correct.
Because he did it. He did the dumb stuff. And you probably would never even got caught. But you shot a music video telling the cops you did the race. Like, you out of here. And it's like, okay, cool. Got you
we
now.
ate that shit up as a culture.
Yeah, it was in the
ate
clubs.
that
It was in the
shit
parties.
up, man.
They
Real
bigged
talk.
him up.
Oh, wow,
Ate
wow.
that shit up as
But
a
nobody
culture.
wants to talk about the fact that he has 55 years
Yeah.
now. Like, where's
That
the
ass
episodes
shit,
about
yeah,
that?
yeah.
That's why we doing what we
Nah,
doing
niggas
now.
ain't
Because
supporting
like,
him. Yeah,
You
that
talking
shit-
about, they act
crazy.
like that's a rite of passage, man. To like catch a body or go to jail
and talk about it.
And
You got to mention that
it's
part.
not.
Yeah.
And tell everybody
Yeah,
that you
that's
did it.
ignorance, man. It's ignorance. It's coward shit for real. That's how I look at it, man. A lot of dudes that was so-called in the streets, man, really wasn't built for the streets. I'm talking about, like, I'm looking at it now as opposed to how it was back then. Like, when I was coming up, yo, you heard about all type of, like, ruthless stuff, like dudes in the basement getting cut up with circular saws and stuff like that because they
What's
ran
your
off,
era? What's
they
your
ran
era,
off
D?
with somebody's pack. You know what I'm saying? Or they messed up somebody's money. And that's why I tell you, it's like how we was talking earlier. Like there was
Tell us
really,
your era. What's your era?
there was
What era
really.
you grew up in?
I grew up in the 70s and 80s. I grew up in the 70s and 80s.
You're talking about the
You know, I
2000s, late 2000s.
I saw the
70s,
South
80s.
Bronx, like I said before, my peoples was from all over the city. Jamaica, Queens, South Jamaica, Queens, South Bronx, Brownsville, Flatbush. Like I had all parts of that. So I saw all that was going on in the 70s and the 80s and all of that. But it's today, that's not street. I don't like that's and I don't like to even like glorify street.
That's why I
don't
want
like
to ask
that.
you.
And that's why I say earlier, I'm like, yo, nobody was born saying, yo, I want to be a criminal. I want to do street shit. You know what I'm saying? I was looking for a job.
Well, it depends, right?
You know what I'm saying? I was looking for a job. I was trying to find a way to put money in my pocket. It just so happened that because they was shutting out young blacks and stuff like that from our community, dudes had to make a way, man. It was either you starve or you make a way. And they knew that. That's what I'm saying. All of this is by design. That's why they put all that stuff in the community, because they know dudes is going to gravitate towards it. That's why the Scarface movies come out and all of that, where you glorify that type of stuff. Because after Scarface came out, I'm telling you, people just had all these bright ideas. I'm getting this money. Where the plug at? I need a brick. I need some coke. I need to set up shop. We trying to eat. And they form their teams. Like I said before, I saw breakdancing crews turn into drug crews, man. So it wasn't always about the street. It was about camaraderie with your peoples. You know what I'm saying? And then it became when people start showboating, when the haves had and the have-nots didn't. And you come around and you want to showboat and all of that. And dudes like, and they feel some type of way about it because they not eating. So and that's anywhere around the world. If you come through shining and somebody's starving, what they gonna do?
That's a fact.
Mm-hmm. They gonna get at you, and then what you call it? You call it crime?
What's your ever the street thing, man? Like when you
late 80s, early 90s.
How was it?
As a kid, I loved it, to be honest with you, right? Because I was part of the problem. I really was, right? Like everything that was bad, it appeared to be cool as a kid, right? I remember like joining like my first gang, right, in school, in elementary school. Right? We called them posses back in the days, right? I had my own fucking posse.
They was called posses when I was coming up. Crews and posses.
Yeah, right. So, and that was like, that now like in hindsight, that springboarded into like my teenage to adult, because when the more serious gangs came to New York, I'm like, yo, we already doing this shit like 10, 11 years old. Bloods is here now. Let's fuck with them. They doing the shit we like to do, right? But it stunts your damn growth, man. With all this street stuff, man, I tell you that much, man. So yeah, that's my era.
My era was late 90s, early 2000s. Like growing up, 5% Nation. That's what we should have been following.
5% Nation was back then too.
Before niggas took this blood shit, niggas should have been kept on with that, because I was teaching men how to be men, growing and shit. And then like late 2000s, early 2000s, I just was a block nigga. I had to be outside, throwing rocks at cars, beating up crackheads.
Yeah, jelly, right?
Beating up crackheads, bro.
Because it appeared to be cool, right?
Yeah. Bro, I ain't gonna front. When I was young, I was a problem beating up crackheads. The judges is coming to me like, yo, Buddha, you making the crackheads and want to come over here and you fucking up my money. Like, it was that real. Like, I really had beef with crackheads. Niggas know, like, nah, that nigga, I had a little crew. We used to go on sprees. Bro, now I look at it like, God spared me. I was a young nigga not knowing, 8 years old, doing dumb shit that was fun.
And at 8, I was wishing to be able to sell drugs. Cause I used to see the vials going to school. You see the red tops, blue tops, yellow tops, right? And I used to see the drug dealers making all the money, and I'm like, I can't wait to sell drugs. I can't wait. Not knowing it was a bad thing.
Yeah,
right?
that's a fact.
I just seen the money, like I can't wait to do this shit, man. It was very
You know
crazy.
what really had me at a young age? Paid in full. My brothers would tell you I had a little suitcase, had a little powder. Like, yo, I swear, bro, I know. That's how I'm like, yo. So like now I get older and see what the streets do. I'm like, yo, that shit is not it, bro.
we were young,
I can
we
change.
impressionable.
Everybody that see me like, yo, Buddha, I love your growth. Niggas know I was borderline.
But you know what? That goes back to my original statement, right? That the parents are barely parenting, right? Because where was our parents at? You got the paid in full suitcase, right? I'm looking at the crack valves, trying to figure out how do I get the crack up and shit. Where were the mothers was at and the fathers?
My mom was
At
working.
work.
You see what I'm saying?
So, Rob, so what is your era?
That's why they say the parents ain't really the parents, because how much time do you really spend around your children?
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And they influenced by the world or what's out there.
Yep.
So I know what I was influenced by, because I was Flatbush in East New York. You know what I'm saying? So I used to take the B6 bus, and while I take the B6 bus, guess what I'm seeing? I'm seeing dudes get their chains popped. I'm seeing dudes on the bus pickpocketing white people, all that. And I'm just sitting there like this. And kid, somewhat in fear, like, I hope they don't mess with me.
Correct.
You know, I'm just observing because this is my first time seeing this. But it seems like the norm because it was happening every day.
What's your era, Rob?
For me, I was 10 in 2001, so I would say, as fully being like conscious enough to see what was going on outside, I was about, I'll say the 2000 all the way up to like 09 is when I graduated high school. So really like that 01 to 09 was my whole outside era. And I just think my spin on it was so crazy because I always lived in some of the worst environments in Harlem, but it was always the money. You know what I mean? In Harlem growing up, it was just, it wasn't like a super, yo, you gotta rob somebody, you gotta kill somebody, but it was definitely a super push, like, you gotta get money. If you're not getting money, then you nobody. So my whole thing was just, how can I get money?
Correct.
And that was what my life was always consisted of, and always just going through those battles and being outside. I just had so many examples. Like I would say I had a lot of like good men around me, even though my pops got killed. Like I had uncles that poured into me. You know what I mean? I had my mom's, all her boyfriends. Like my mom's, I gotta give a lot of credit to her. She did it. She gave me a lot of education on the streets. So every time I was in those circumstances where, like, I remember Bloods was trying to recruit me. My aunt became Blood, and she came home, like, literally came home from being, you know, having her 31, all that, in crib, bloody, all that. She got the book, and she was teaching me a lot, because I was looking like, damn, I didn't know it was an educational side to it. You know what I mean? Like, she had a book. I followed her one day. It was a whole meeting, and it was, I really followed her, like, follow her to the meeting, and I was almost hooked, because I was like, I didn't see that side of it. She was there. They all was in the park chilling, going over the knowledge, and it was like right there. And then like my mom said, like, catch wind of what's going on, and like next week I'll be up in Fort Dix in the feds visiting her ex-boyfriend, and the whole 3 hours he's sitting down like, yo, everything you seeing out there, same shit we talking about. I'm only 11, but he hitting me with it. Another DC, my mom's like, I don't even know if she was still tied to these dudes, but she was like taking me to all of these trips. And it was like I couldn't get away from that message. Every time I seen it was times where it's like we all going to a party and they like, yo, who gonna hold a joint? Yo, it's your turn, bro. And I'm like, nah, because all I heard was, but everybody else, it was so easy to say nah because it was 100 dudes like, give it to me. So it was like me saying nah. I was like, all right, bet. I ain't have to fight nobody because it's 10 other dudes my age hungry, like, give it to me. So I always, you know, when I wrote a book, and the first chapter of my book is The Wise Learn from Mistakes of Others. It was poured into me so much that this shit was dangerous that I just learned how to play both sides because I live here. So I have to be, you know, amongst the wolves. And if it was a fight, I had to be included. If it was beef, I was a part of the beef. But I was never trying to be the face. I was never trying to be the headline because I knew, like, back in my mind, I had too many people in my ear telling me, this shit is bullshit. And we kissed Pop's cold cheek in the casket. So that also was in my head too. I'm just saying, like, these are all of the things that, like, when I was in the streets, I knew that this shit was not going to end well. You know what I mean? So shout out to you, Mama Love, because that shit helped. She didn't have to put me in those predicaments. A lot of moms probably would never did that. I ain't taking you to all these jails and letting you. Cause I ain't never watched no Spider-Man's, Batman, none of them movies younger. Don't be a menace, menace to society. I was intrigued by the streets because it was like, this is all I knew, this is all I seen. But I also knew like, nah, this ain't it. And then my friends started getting locked up. Bro started getting locked up. So for me, I was like, oh shit. I had no choice but to try to figure out what to do. And that's where the school shit kicked in. So my shit is like a little different because I actually was able to like see that shit at young and like take heed to it.
So what's one, like, let's say movie or TV show that had you like at a young age, like, I don't know about this. We're gonna go around. Like me, I'm gonna start first. Mine is Oz. Watching Oz, I'm like, nah, this shit is real, nigga. I'm like, oh, hold on. This shit,
That shit was crazy.
Paid for glitz and glims. That's the money side. This is getting money side. With the jail shit, I'm like, whoa. So what was like your?
It was no movie for me because I thought that shit was cool, right?
It was in the movie.
Like literally, I was just talking to my homeboy the other day. I had got caught up in a raid, right? I was 21, I believe, right? And they offered me 7 years. So in my mind, I'm like, I'll be out before I'm 30. I'm good. Give me the 7.
Wow.
Right? So it didn't fear me that going to jail and doing 7 years. But in hindsight now, I'm like, fuck no. Hell no, right? But nah, so I thought it was cool because I said, I'm going to be in there with my homies anyway.
I had that mindset too at one point.
Yeah.
D, matter of fact, D, tell people your story, man. Out there, man, listen, I don't know. My son D did 31 joints, man.
Yeah, 31, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? But sitting here with you gentlemen today, I feel as though that was part of my path. I'm supposed to be right here telling the story that I'm telling. You know what I'm saying? Because of what's going on in this society and because I could give back to this society my experiences and articulate it in a manner which some people will grasp it, even if one person grasps it, because that's where I'm at right now at this stage of my life. You know what I mean? I'm about to be 54. You know, all the dudes that I ran with older than me. They was like 10 years older than me. So I was like way ahead of doing things that I shouldn't have been doing. You know, 13, I was getting in the clubs. I was in Union Square. I was in Latin Quarters. I was in the Roxy, Roseland, Bentley's, all of them type of clubs, man, where it was going down, the Tunnel, all of that. I was there, you know, getting in there at 13, 14. I don't know how, but I was in there, you know. But when you, it kind of, my fear was, it was relinquished. I wasn't fearful at all, man. But that's for most boys growing up in the city, man. We don't know the consequences. Right. We rolling off of, we just exploring. Little boys explore, man. We ain't scared to climb the highest fence. We ain't scared to try to, yo, I bet you can't jump over that gate. What? We ain't scared to try to jump over the gate, trip, bust our head. We gonna get up and try it again. So the fear was not there for me. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where I got caught up because I was with whatever. Correct. You know, I was with whatever to the point they nicknamed me Crazy D. You know, at one point, and I hate, like, this is one of the reasons why sometimes I don't like talking about certain things or being in front of cameras and stuff like that, because sometimes people know you for what you used to be, and they be like, yo, get out of here, that nigga, yo, he just talking that shit now. He ain't. I remember when that, you know what I'm saying, but I wasn't fearful at all, man, and that was the problem. And even today, I'm not fearful, but I'm a consequential thinker. You know what I'm saying? And I got things going on in my life. So once you have things going on in your life and you have a set goal to where you want to be, you're really kind of hard on yourself. Like, I always been hard on myself. You know what I mean? And that's why I always took like certain risks, because I was like, I'm supposed to be here. So I'm gonna take this risk. I'm gonna try this because, you know, maybe this is how I'm supposed to do it. But come to find out, that really wasn't the way I was supposed to do it, because I was actually hurting people.
I have two questions.
You know what I mean?
You did 31 years straight. That's one question. And the second question, did you do any time before the 31?
Never did time.
That was your first time?
Was never arrested.
At 17, you got
at 17.
Your first time is 31.
Yeah. They sentenced me to life without parole. And that's why I say all of this was by design, to create mass incarceration, to take men away from their families. You know what I'm saying? And to empower the women, lift the women up, and have them go against the men too. Some of the women that wasn't enlightened, and they go for the okie doke, you know, because they'll uplift the women, they'll let them in the job market, all of that. Mm-hmm. But I remember it was hard for me to get a job.
What was your thoughts at 17 when they said 31 years, D?
Yeah.
Oh man, my stomach was
Where they gonna
like,
ship your body? They told me where they gonna ship this body.
They asked me. When I went upstate, I was 18. When I got locked up, I was 17, just about to turn 18. But they asked you where do you want your body sent, man? And I was like this, what? What you mean where I want my body sent? They said you ain't never going home. So when you die, where you want your body sent? And for a kid to hear that and still hold it together, man.
How was you able to cope though? Like, because this your first time in there. Obviously, you don't know the programming, and you're about to do 31. Like, how did you?
I already knew the stories, right? Because, like I said, I was around dudes that was like 60.
Well, he's in a group home already.
I was in a group home.
Oh, okay.
You know,
so I was already like,
preparing you a little bit.
Yeah. I took some losses. I had some victories. You know what I'm saying? It was all part of it.
Wow.
But that also diminished my fear, because it's like once you go through, it's like, all right, I went through it. Bring more. Like, I survived that. Let's go. And that's how I went into, and for me, I wasn't even in New York, so I was totally out of my element. I was in a whole nother city. I was in Philadelphia. And Philadelphia wasn't no cakewalk either. Like, that shit was gladiator school.
Wow.
When I went through their county, Holmesburg Prison. Anybody from Philadelphia, they know. Holmesburg Prison, one of the oldest prisons out there in Philly. Wow. Crazy. Dirty, mice, roaches, everything. And all conditions that you don't want to experience, really. But at 17, I was experiencing that, man. And I had to fight older men. I had to fight men, grown men, to prove like, yo, I'm not prey, my man. I'm not prey.
Did you have to get therapy when you got out?
Yeah, I went to therapy.
Okay. For
myself. I did it like on my own accord.
Okay.
Because I realized, like, yo, I did 31. I was traumatized.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm still traumatized from that. The things you go through in there, you never forget it. You never forget it. The way you're treated in there, you'll never forget it. And that's why I say these are the things that need to be talked about to these kids, because they don't know all the degrading stuff and everything that you have to go through while you're in prison.
Get them two things. Get them two things for the kids right now. Degrading shit. You gotta go. 2 things right now.
Being told to squat down and cough, or bend over. I wasn't bending. Squat down and cough, butt ass naked, to make sure you ain't hiding nothing in your anal cavity. Cause dudes was boof. I never boofed nothing in my, but dudes boof razors. They boof all drugs, all type of stuff in their anal cavity. So when you get searched, you know what I'm saying? That's what they tell you. They strip you down, butt ass naked. So you standing there butt ass naked with all your shit swinging or whatever, and you got a white man that's from up in the mountains getting a kick out of this shit. Like, they get a kick out of it to the point you like, what are you into?
Correct.
Like, are you into men?
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want that job, but they got a kick out of it.
And I just want to quickly say, like, if y'all heard me earlier, like, the what you doing right now, and even like your mission to reach, the youth by telling your story, is what saved my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm just, basically confirming that the mission that you on does work. Because if y'all heard what I was saying, like, what saved me from actively being around all that shit was men telling me that type of shit at 12. So I was hearing that while dudes is oranged up, greened up, saying like, yo, son, don't, da-da-da-da. And it's like, that shit was registering. In those moments, I was seeing niggas bugging, and hearing my mentor, I would say, because that was my mom's ex-boyfriend, and this is the type of shit he was saying. And it was that fucking raw, like, yo, bro, I can't, I want to hug, I want to chill, I want to leave with y'all.
But
I
let me ask you
can't go
this.
nowhere.
Yeah.
How do you suppose the number increases? Because you're 0.1% of the people that listened, right? So how do you suppose that it gets to 1,000 people, then 2,000?
And you know, so crazy. This is one of the questions that I was going, ask y'all and build with y'all because I'm starting to notice I'm doing the work myself. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, I ain't realized listening was so much of a
skill,
wonderful ass skill. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, oh shit, you could tell all day. I'm in front of them all day. Like, yo, I wrote a book called How to Beat the Streets and gave the whole, you know what I mean, principles. And I'm like,
Oh, wow.
I'm showing them like, yo, my life wasn't meant to be this way. I just fought to not do the shit, and I'm telling them it works. So I'm like, I'm thinking, voila, look at me, it works. Everything y'all want. I got a wifey, I got beautiful kids. I don't look over my shoulder. I drive the car I want. This shit is beautiful. This is a great life. Do it. And they're like, oh yeah, word. And then 3 years later, my little man I had in my classroom, indicted.
Damn.
5 years later, my little man shot. You know what I mean? So I'm like, damn, it's hard for me to see because I'm like, oh. And that's when I started to realize, oh, we have to talk about the art of listening. Because that's the real truth right there. It's like, we could build all day and share the stories. It's like, are you going to watch this interview, take that in, and then like really implement some things tomorrow? If not, then I'm like, now we have to get to the root of that. Like, why is listening so hard? And that was going to be my question. Why I think you could build, you could talk. Some dudes, they are in the streets, they talking to their sons on the phone, telling them, and their son just going right to it. Even though you got a pops telling you that I'm locked up, bro, I couldn't be there for you. And they still going right to the streets. So I was trying to get to like, because I'm still struggling with that answer.
I feel like this.
I think a lot of it is the peer pressure too, man. You know, just being in the environment that you're in. If you go against the grain, you looked at as the weirdo. You know what I'm saying? The girls might not like you. You know, things like that. So you kind of go along to get along. You know what I mean? And that's a protective type of instinct too. Because like I said, when I wasn't a street individual until I was victimized. You know what I'm saying? Until I was victimized. And that started changing my whole pattern of thought. You know what I mean? Because I didn't want to be the victim. So I was like, oh, I got to be the victimizer. This is how this works. I got to be the victimizer. I got to strap myself with a blade, or I got to pick up a 22. Or, you know what I'm saying?
Jail be. Niggas in
like
jail you don't be because you
it's just like when you go in there.
Same shit.
You try to fall back, you can't really fall back because it's going to be somebody that's going to test you. It's going because you're in a place where ignorance reigns, man. Where ignorance reigns. So you can't go in there talking about, oh, I'm an angel, I'm just going to fall back and everything is going to be good. Nah, it's not like that.
So to me, it's like the protection. Because as you talking, now I'm realizing like what my uncles was doing. Like when I was young, I was in school and I was getting good grades, but I was still outside on the block all day, and my uncles used to let me borrow their cars. So now I'm thinking about it in hindsight, they was trying to shine a light on me and let me look. So I escaped the whole you don't look cool thing because my uncle let me hold a car. So now I'm bringing the girls back to the block. So now even dudes on the block is looking at me like, damn, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, what
like
is
he outside with us.
And they look at it like,
if
yo,
we
what
throw
you
the
connected
hands,
to?
he's still gonna protect himself. But he not doing the shit that we doing to get that love. And I'm like, oh shit, that's what my uncles was doing. They was shining the light on me so it don't look like, yo, what you doing is not cool. They was trying to show me like, yo. And they was also telling me, that's why I said, I gotta give respect and say, like, you know, most people say, yo, you ain't got no dudes around you, these dudes here. I'm like, nah, my uncles was really like, they was doing it. And I think that's what we gotta do. We gotta like notice the young guy that's trying and like
grab him,
give it to him. Shine, like here, take hit my chain with that. Like
that's tricky, right? Because it's about who have the most influence, right? So you can be the uncle that gives the chain, give the cars, right? But if I have the influence because I'm much cooler, right, and my message is negative, then they're gonna gravitate towards what's cooler, right?
And there you have it. And the truth is, I never got a chance to be top dog out there neither. It's the same thing. Like some niggas go to college, some niggas go to jail. I had that feeling. I graduated from college, came back to the block. All right, bro.
We had
That
to
was
change,
it.
that's what I
Niggas
said.
come home from you know how I go. You come home from
100%.
jail.
You celebrate.
Yo, sweatsuits.
You celebrate.
All I'm like, yo, I'm still fucked up.
Correct.
It was no sweatsuits for me. It was nothing, no kicks, nobody. It was nobody posting me or none of that.
Because you
Or
didn't
you come
prove
home from
anything.
jail.
You didn't prove
But
your
we have
loyalty.
to change what's cool. Shit like this, like let's change what's cool. Like start celebrating niggas that graduate from school. Start giving them niggas the love.
It's not enough of us though.
But nigga, it's not enough. But like we gotta keep doing it.
Nah.
We just gotta keep
can
doing
try.
it because
I think you gotta
try.
show. I think you gotta.
And these new kids, you do gotta
It's
show
not
these new
just the
kids. You
accomplishment of going to school, right? You gotta show the lifestyle that comes with going to school, getting out, getting the money,
I always say
and
that.
all of that,
I
and what
always
you
say
doing
that.
now.
But that
You know
caused
they say
hatred.
here.
Though.
Yo, I'm about
That
to
caused
say-
hatred. Listen,
Say-
I remember getting my first BMW and going through the hood. So I'm thinking like I'm motivating because like I did these things, right? Next thing you know, they start talking, oh, he think he fly, he got a BMW. And I'm like, this was supposed to be for motivational purposes, bro. This showed you that if you're able to stick to something long enough, you can accomplish something. Nope, they hate
That's
that
if they
shit.
know you.
They
That's
know
that's if
me.
They know
But
you.
niggas gonna
Like, if
hate
you riding and
regardless.
everybody don't know
Niggas
your
gonna
story.
hate regardless. You got a bad bitch they hand. You got niggas gonna
You
hate
got
regardless.
too
That shit
much.
come with the game.
Like people
bro.
don't know my story.
It come with the game.
They
though.
don't know what I've been through. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what
Niggas
I
gonna
do.
be hating us to see niggas on the podcast. I niggas on the podcast.
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah,
that
fuck
nigga.
'em, right. I know
That's
who
why
he
it's
is.
the game, bro.
Here's the
It just
thing,
comes with the
like
game.
this is why, like sometimes, like I do feel like, yo, when it come down to the black man culture, this culture is like a little twisted. Cause if you shine too hard, you gon' have to deal with the wolves. But then if you protect yourself, you gotta deal with the cops. Then you gotta deal with if it come down to it, and I gotta protect myself. I still could end up going to jail and
Yep.
going down that same thing for protecting myself too.
Yep.
But if I don't show, then I can't, pass down the knowledge.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's like
Damn
this
if you
shit is
do.
this shit is
Damn
this
if
shit
you
is
do.
like
But this fight, but
being
like,
a black man is a little tough,
Yeah.
man.
The fight you winning the fight. If you ain't willing to die for it, so it is what it is.
Nipsey
But like I'm
Hussle.
saying, this fight that niggas is saying, we gotta show these niggas different. So we gotta do that. You gotta show niggas, yo, get a job. Look, nigga, I got the same chain he got, but he might get 10 years coming soon, nigga. I'll be out here 10 years
Hey, yo,
somewhere else.
you know how
we gotta start
how retarded
making that shit
I
seem
felt
cool,
and
bro.
how like slow just to be out there at the age that I was selling drugs, man. You know what I'm saying? And we was out of town doing it. We was Washington, Philly, all of that. Like crack spots, 24-hour rocking, money coming in. But I look at it and I'm like, that shit was stupid, man.
Now,
Yeah, back then I was looking at it like that. Like,
really?
I'm not supposed to, like, this lifestyle
So why you was
is
doing it?
not because it was the money. It was the money. The money. You know what I'm saying? The money allowed you the freedom to do the things that you want to do. So I was like, damn, they not giving me a shot at a job. And I wasn't patient. I didn't have a man to come and be like, hey, son, stick with it. Be resilient. Try again. Don't go that route. I had the dude come and be like, oh, word, they ain't hiring? They ain't hiring blacks. They don't give a fuck about us, son. You got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here getting this money. And when you hear that and you see everybody around you that's doing that, it looks like they winning, what you going to do?
Right, but we're gonna spin the conversation right now. Let's talk about Young Thug case, man. Let's
Oh,
go
man.
around the Young Thug case, man. All right, what about Gunna? How you feel about Gunna? Did Gunna do bad? All right,
whoever.
start over. Right?
I mean,
I would ask, what did he do?
He went on the stand and said, not the stand. Well, he took a plea deal and said, YSL is a gang
Okay.
and it must end.
So he was only regurgitating what they already labeled it as.
Yeah,
Because they said it was a gang,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And that's what they was convicted for, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
he-
Doug was on same type of time in the beginning, trying to say it was just a music and a record
Yeah.
label.
Oh.
And he like the first one, right? Wasn't Gunna like the first one to cop out? And he said, YSL is a gang and it must end.
Okay.
And Young Thug came home. He copped out. He got like probation for 15 years.
Yeah.
that shit,
Son,
like,
I
sticky.
don't have a problem with dudes saying, hey, man, I had enough. I had enough of this shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to jail. I don't have a problem with that. If you out, get the fuck out. Get out. You know what I'm saying? But I have a problem with like dudes acting like they still into that. You know what I'm saying? They still into it, but they not willing to face the consequences of that.
So all right. So Gunna, so you said you don't got a problem with Gunna.
I don't have a problem saying, yo, I'm out. I seen the light. I don't want no more part of this life. I'm done.
But I think
You
his
know what I'm
question was,
saying?
what about what he said?
Yeah, what he said. Like, is that?
Did he
you
do
think,
bad?
Like, did he do bad?
But when he said YSL is a gang,
Yeah.
Why they saying that they a music record label?
Yeah.
And then again, do you feel like
but they already said that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They
They
labeled
already
that
said
shit
it.
already, right? And
So you saying they used him for confirmation?
Basically, that's what
I mean-
this is the proper knowledge of what he said. Is the video, and he said, "Why is this gang and it must end?" So
Was,
me,
he,
I
was
feel
he
like-
under pressure? Was charges about to come out on him?
he was already in
He
there.
was
was
indicted.
He was
already in the
He
indictment.
copped out. That's what I'm saying. He copped out, and he said that. So you don't. So like, it is
I'm
what
just
it is,
waiting
like,
for
yeah.
Young Thug to say something.
I think they
You know
showed
what I
us a
mean? 'Cause
snippet
it's like,
though.
what I don't
What's
know
your
if
saying?
Young
What's your
Thug.
saying,
That's
though?
what I'm saying. I don't know if Young Thug, yo, do what you gotta do, man. You the artist, you the bag, you the money, and it's a whole play. You know what I mean? Because
Correct.
until he say something, I'm like, all of this
Correct.
stuff to me is like speculation.
Correct.
Like he's home now. I would expect it. Yo, he's a rat. Yo,
Correct,
he's
correct.
this, and then we could act. But it's like nothing is happening, and he's still signed to Young
And
Thug
he asked,
Music.
can I
saying.
speak to him, right? He said, he asked the judge, can I speak
Can
to
I
him?
do music with him?
Correct,
Can I?
correct.
So I'm like, I don't know.
What's your take on it?
I think that we only seen a snippet of that because he said yes, it's a gang and it needs to be stopped, but we didn't hear what was said prior to that, right? So for all we know, they all could have been in agreement, say, you know what, we all charged for this shit being a gang. We might as well just say it just to take a plea deal and get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
And they only showed us that
Yeah.
part.
My
I'm
take
gonna
on it
tell you
is, how do we feel about YSL Woody? Then Chico, it flows
Huh?
right in. YSL Woody. He went on the stand and he lied.
I don't agree with nobody getting on the stand. Don't get me fucked up there. I'm not with that shit.
No.
Yeah, I'm not with that.
I'm just going around.
But I'm saying if
YSL
somebody
Woody.
does
How
do
y'all
it-
feel about that?
You can't. What did he do?
He went on the stand and lied. Basically, went on the stand that's made a mockery of himself.
I think that was orchestrated that way.
Me too.
That's what I
Me
think.
too.
Right? Because he's a character in
That's why I
himself.
said I'm waiting for Young Thug, man. I'm waiting for because I'm like, this shit to me look like some old school mob shit where
I'ma
niggas
tell
just
you
might
like
have
this.
orchestrated this whole
Correct.
fucking play.
We sync
And it look like it
ourselves.
works.
Correct.
Yo,
Gunna got home, he made the music, he made more money, so Thug came
Correct.
home with a bigger bag. He about to do more music with
Correct.
him. The YSL Woody nigga did all this crazy shit.
Correct.
He going crazy.
He's a
he
star
got more
now.
money. They probably just and then Thug come home and has all this money. To me, it's like, what if they secretly Dapper Fives like,
people.
we got it,
That's what I
y'all.
think.
I about
The
to say-
lawyer was willing to go to jail with him.
That's what I'm saying. Look like this
That's
is
what I'm saying.
What?
I'm about to say, hold on.
Look.
People was saying like the streets always snitching. Woody came home getting bookings. He walking out like he getting low because like Hadith said, I feel like he taking accountability what he did. Like yo, I snitched. It is what it is.
he's saying that shit is bullshit.
Yeah, I'm
He's
just
letting
trying
it
to
be
move
known.
forward.
It's bullshit.
I'm gonna try to move
It's
forward.
it's for motherfuckers.
Nah.
That's what people not
forward.
understanding. Like he doing the antics, but you'll see on certain platforms, he literally is saying like, "Yo, use me, y'all." This shit is like he's doing the right thing.
Yeah,
Everybody
like,
low
moving
key, I feel
forward.
like all the gangsters, whatever you want to call them, they do have that side of them. But it's like niggas is money hungry too and want that bread. So if you want to play, yeah, he gonna do all the antics. But I watched a few interviews where he downplayed. He say, "I know I might die. I know I might. It's over. That's why I'm just living my life and bugging out. But use me to get the far away from this shit. Go
And
to
he
school."
told, and he was
got
talking
it.
about the kids. He said, "Yo, shit is bullshit." He said,
Yeah.
I woke up and realized it's bullshit. And I'm here to tell y'all it's bullshit.
And that's
so
what I wanna
judge
say.
me how you want to judge me. I recognize it's bullshit and I'm promoting
This is
it.
my
It's
problem with
bullshit.
stuff like that.
Yeah, you should have
Because-
recognized earlier, right?
Because not only that,
Yeah,
people
that's-
wait until they done with doing all the time, right, and then want to make the transition, right?
Some shit don't click. How you said, some niggas
Nah,
got
you
to
don't-
learn this disorder.
Nah,
Shit
you
don't
don't.
click.
Now is bullshit to me because you did all the bullshit first, and now when you don't have no more time left in you, it's like, let me snitch now.
This
No.
is my thing. I did time, right?
Yeah.
I did time. All while I was down, I knew shit. I knew Durk. I knew motherfuckers that was active in the streets. That the feds would have loved to get their hands on. I didn't call nobody up and say, yo, I'm trying to make a deal. Get me out of this life without parole sentence. I gotta get home. My mom's is sick. Nah. Because I knew that one day I'd be out here. You know what I'm saying? So that was fortified in my mind, my spirit, that this ain't the ending for me. You know what I mean? But you go through a process. Everybody goes through a process. A lot of people don't get it right away. You know what I'm saying? So you can't say, hey, he should have bailed out back then. You know? Everybody doesn't get it right away. Sometimes it takes people 20, 30 years to get it.
So how you feel about people
before they evolve into a better part of themselves, man? Because for real, that ain't for us, man. We ain't supposed to be out there in the street shooting and killing one another and getting high and running through mad chicks and all of that and creating this whole cesspool of bullshit. Because it's all bullshit. Yeah. When you look at it, it's bullshit. And they profiting off of the bullshit.
Yes, sir.
And they don't even live out there. They profiting off of us. That's why I asked you, I said, what was the guy from Texas? That just caught the 50-something years?
TK, we talking about
you said his video or his
song
was doing numbers. And I said, who profits off it? Not him.
Even right now. The record label still owns that song.
But I'm going to keep it 100.
Right now.
We all pay victim to it because we listen to the music. Mm-hmm. We the ones that dancing. We the one that's dancing, vibing to that shit. I always say, Bobby Schmurder hot nigga, he said Mitch caught a body by the... You feel me? Like,
but people
I have to tell people like,
real music right now. People are only attracted because they listening like, yo, this nigga is nuts for saying this.
But
that's why they attracted to it.
Let's imagine somebody got a hit song and son talking about your op in the song. Then you go to the club, niggas is dancing, not knowing you talking about son in the song, and you like, nigga, that's my man. That nigga just crazy. Like,
no, that's happening. That's happening. That's what I'm trying to say. Now,
so that's when niggas be spazzing out. Sometimes it be like, cause Pop Smoke would talk some shit and. Saying so that's what I'm trying to say. So I have to tell people you gotta be aware. Like when you playing that music in some neighborhoods, you thinking there's music. He talking about some real shit. The nigga spray your car up.
That's why today I feel like one of the big gems that I took away.
I was thinking about that the other day because I'm older, but I listen to the younger generation
to be aware,
music,
bro.
Because it's not that I'm listening to the lyrics. I don't really approve of what they saying and all of that. But I'm we rhythmic people.
Oh yeah,
we listen to the beat. So I was always wanting to hear beats, and I like the beat. I listen to it.
But you gotta be aware. Nowadays, you have to be aware. Some niggas is
even the race when he take K to that shit. He said, "I ain't beat the J's." Bitch, I did the race, but the way that nigga shoulder moved when he said that shit, I knew that was it. He was saying He was saying the realest shit ever.
I gotta listen to it. I never heard it.
Watching you see it, the wanted sign in his neighborhood is right behind him, and he moving his shoulders with the beat. So it's like outside of the lyrics, if you a kid watching, it looks crazy, and then you do your research, and he's telling a fact. Oh, now you're going on my poster. Here we go. And then he got the celebrity status after it. He got the deal. He got the money. So now it's like, of course you are a favorite celebrity. And you gotta think about the people from his community that know the case. They looking like, oh, this nigga is crazy. So they gonna support it.
I don't support shit like that no more because I know the outcome. That's why sometimes that drill shit and the new shit, I don't fuck with that shit. I don't care how it sound good. I know the outcome.
Intrigue is two different things.
I know the outcome. I'm not gonna be the one.
You could just be intrigued.
I'm not gonna be.
Because you see hot right now.
I'm not even
intrigued
with that shit no more.
People talking about it, so everybody want to hear it. What are you talking about? Before you know it, his song is hot.
With me, I feel like it's no gray area. It's either black or white. You stand for this shit or you don't. I'm not in the middle. I'm not intrigued about that music no more because I know what comes to this shit. My man in my hood, he was beef niggas rapping about that shit. I already know the niggas be talking them shit to them songs. Yeah. Talking real shit, so I'm
still entertained by that shit though.
I don't get entertained no more about that shit, bro. That shit, I'm just sitting out about
that shit. I still listen to King Von, man.
Yeah. See, another one, King Von. So how you feel about the King Von and Lil Tim situation, man?
Lil Durk.
No, the King Von and Lil Tim situation. Ronda. Like, was Lil Tim wrong for holding his man down?
I feel like all of that shit played out like
all of that shit to me is
case
just
how it go. I just think
it's ignorance, man.
The biggest gem I got even from in this bill today is like, when will people wake up? Like my new question now when I hang out with people, this is what I really learned. Right. I'm like, yo, do you want to live? It's like that in Menace to Society, one of my favorite lines. K, do you care whether you live or you die? I'm like, this is the kind of question I'm trying to ask my homies now. Before we even get in the car, we go out, we have a good night. This is my question to everybody. Not what you got on the bottle, not if the spot popping, who DJing. Yo, you care about living? Yo, you care about living? You care about living? Then I want to go out with y'all. Because now I'm starting to realize some people, they don't really care. So that's why they playing this game. So it don't even make sense to even talk and build and try to teach you because you don't really, you down to die. So that's why it don't even matter about the knowledge, about none of this shit, because you're not even being truthful with us and saying, bro, tell y'all the truth. I don't really give a fuck about none of this shit. I don't care if I live, die, my mom's honor, a code, nothing. And there's a lot of dudes out here, I realize, that's on that.
What do you think that stem from, though?
Life, circumstances. Because we just talked about it today. Being a black man is not easy, bro.
That shit's hard. Yeah.
Niggas
Dev, I'm like, I say, yo.
Pissy elevators, shitty hallways, you know what I mean?
I died so many times behind that wall, man, and came back to life with an epiphany. You know what I'm saying? Like, I died and I came back to life so many times within that 31 years, man. To the point, right? It was clear to me, I don't want to have nothing to do with this no more. Because I know what I stand on. Like how you said, do I agree with snitching? Nah, hell no. I don't. I don't believe with throwing your partner under the bus. If you sign on for something, ride that shit all the way out. You know what I'm saying? Ride it out. And that's what I did.
When you say you died, what that mean? Huh? Like, when you say you died so many times, like what that mean when you was in there? Like, take us through that.
Like, you go through so many changes of having faith in a certain outcome.
He gave up.
And when you don't get that outcome, that shit tears you apart to the point you feel like you died, man. Because you look and you still in this same spot. You still in this cell. You still in this bathroom. You know what I'm saying? You don't have your freedom. Not having your freedom alone feels like death, man. For a man, for any man in his right mind. If you don't have your freedom to move and do the things that you want to do freely, come on. Stagnation is death. It ain't nothing more stagnant than being in a fucking cell with another man. If you lucky to have a cell by yourself, still, you be in your own head. And that shit'll bug you out. You know?
Some people become conditioned to doing the time, right? Because I know a guy, shit was crazy. I used to write him, and I noticed his numbers was 82, but I was writing him in 05. So he been there since 82, right? So he gets out in like 06 or something, caught a body, go back up there for the rest of his life. But he'd been in there 30-some years prior to that. And to him, they was like, no, this is where I'm from now.
Some individuals, I'm gonna tell you, that's what you call we call that institutionalized. You know what I'm saying? And if you allow yourself to become part of the institution and you look at yourself as an inmate, as a convict or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of that has to do with the type of support you get too while you in there. Because a lot of dudes, they don't get a lot of support. People flee from them. They don't want to have nothing to do with them. Especially dudes that was taking care of people or they were the ones holding people down. You know what I mean? So now, since you're not holding people down, they don't give a fuck about you no more. You know, so you really all alone on your own little spiritual path of growth and development, man, if you smart. You know what I'm saying? So that was my whole thing from day one when they said life without parole. I said, yo, they not playing. They mean this shit. When they say, where you want your body? What? Yeah, they mean that. So my whole thing was I got to do whatever I have to do to get out of here. And then I have to prepare myself for when I get out to stay out. You know what I mean? So I don't want to do any, being that I don't snitch or I'm not one to throw other people under the bus and all of that, I said to myself, I can no longer indulge in that lifestyle. Because if I do something, I'm taking the weight for what I do. Because I'm a man, I'm going to take the weight. I'm going to go to jail. Whether it's 20, 30 or whatever, I'm going to have to swallow that shit. Because I can't, the way that I look at myself as a man, I could no longer look at myself in the mirror if I folded under pressure and did anything other than that. So as a man, I said, that shit is over with. That lifestyle is over with. I'm evolved past that. I get out here. Whenever I go places, I got to know where I'm going. I got to know the element that's there. If I don't like the element, you know, I'm like boxing, stick and move. I'm in and out. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I live my life. Because I don't want to involve myself. Even if it's, whatever it is. If I say to myself, this shit could land me in jail for... I'm leaving it alone.
Was it easy for you to make that transition because you wasn't a street person in the first place?
I was always around the street element. Like, I had uncles. My grandfather dealt drugs. My grandfather toted guns. He'd take pictures with guns, cross his legs, and had a gun like this. To this day, I got the pictures at home. Bald head, you know, he was a serious dude. Heavily respected. You know what I'm saying? The people in my family, they used to be hitmen in Bushwick, Brooklyn. I can't mention names or whatever, but this is the shit that they were into. But I was the kid that was around. I had uncles, 4 uncles. They were pimps, they was into doing drugs, all of that. So I was around that, and that's kind of what had me not wanting to be in the streets. But like I said, when you get that dose of pain of being victimized or whatever, and you got fight in you, which I always have fight in me, it changes your whole concept of how you got to move from here on out in order to survive. And that's how people get caught up in that whole street mentality, because it's a survival thing. They fearful that if they don't represent what the street respects, that they will be a victim of the streets.
I say that, and I say y'all can move on with this, but when I ask you the question, I hear that line in Paid in Full when he said, if he leaves the game,
But they love it.
and that's what the street niggas like fear, right? If I just take the high road and say I'm gonna do regular stuff, will this group of people still love me?
Well, fuck them people.
I don't
No,
think they
because
love
they
you.
They care about what those people
You
think.
care what them people
What's
think. When
easier?
you in them mountains, them niggas gonna forget about you anyway. Your name gonna live on, but when you doing big enough, when you bidding, they gonna forget about you anyway. So fuck them niggas.
Yeah,
Hey, yo, I look,
that's where they challenge. That's
even
the
when I
challenge.
look at YouTube, man, I see some of these dudes that they consider street legends. Some of them I knew, but some of the ones they saying is street legends, them motherfuckers ain't legends. They not legends. The wolves was eating them niggas up on the street. They was running from the wolves. A lot of these dudes that's called street legends, man.
Yeah.
They wasn't legends like as far like I don't know what the true definition of what a street legend is. I don't like even getting into that terminology, right? Because if you was in the street doing dirt, I wouldn't exalt you as a legend, man. You know what I'm saying? You was just lost in your fucking ignorance at the time, and you was running around doing ignorant shit. Mostly, you was probably hurting somebody, taking from somebody, dealing drugs to somebody, fucking up somebody, you know? So I don't get into the legend stuff, but I
would
see
say-
these dudes who they categorizing as legends. They wasn't legends in my era, even though they from my era. One of the dudes that was a legend, he just came home. He was that dude when he was out, and like he was about what he was about. But he was about what people don't know. He was military minded and calculating and about empowering his people.
Would you consider
Because-
Big Meech a legend? He just got out.
Nah.
And some people are, yeah.
Nah.
I feel like he's a legend because he made people feed their family.
Correct.
That's what everybody doing it for, right?
Correct. Yeah.
I wouldn't
And-
say it
and-
was
and like-
I
and
think
why?
a
'Cause,
legend
like-
is somebody that like you look up to and exalt.
People
People
look
look
up
up
to
to
him.
him.
Like he was.
You know Big
A lot of
Meech?
people look up to him.
Yeah.
You know him?
Nah, he
Nah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Nah,
okay.
I don't
He
know.
like the black Pablo Escobar. Like he was feeding people, and his thing, he wasn't with the violence type shit. So that's why I could say I could fuck with him. Like, bro, any gang that people say join the gang, I would have joined that gang.
He was
So
Black
I'd be the
Mafia
fuck up.
fan.
I would have joined that
You ain't
gang
watched
because
the
that
BMS
gang.
series and all that?
I mean,
That
I
gang was
like
about
what he
getting
stood
bread.
on. I like
About
what he
family.
stood.
The niggas
Look,
about
I like what
family.
he stood on as far as family. But look what
Yeah.
you doing. Look what you doing.
Yeah,
Look what you
sound
doing.
yeah,
Like
you
how
sound
he said he
46
had
versions.
all states
Yeah.
and was
you sound-
distributing.
Yeah, you sound
Guess what
50
goes
versions.
with them all states? That's where you distributing. You got people killing one another. You created a killing field, and just what you was distributing. You know what I'm saying? So your family was eating. Y'all was good.
But you was locked up for the
But
same
he
thing,
ran.
right?
He ran. Where did he run from?
He's from Detroit.
Where did he run from? Detroit. Why
Yeah.
ain't he stay in Detroit with that?
You trying to get big? You
Yeah.
want to get big? You gotta take over the world.
Why did he stay in Detroit?
Because he need to get bigger.
Niggas probably was on them too, like how and yeah, like where you from, people hate you the most. So sometimes you gotta get. But I feel like he was a legend.
Look,
I'm not gonna lie.
he
Like,
did
I
his
feel
time,
bad. Yeah,
and he's home.
You know what I
Right.
do? I take away all the people around you. Stand by yourself and put him up against some of the
Nigga
big
said
the big dogs.
the cartel had a gun to his head, all them niggas, and he talked his way out that shit. He talked his way out of them niggas
See,
about to off him.
but you know-
and he talked his
he
way out of
never-
it. That's
I
what he
had a
heard.
gun to my head. I had a gun to my head when niggas said I'll blow your fucking brains out.
Nah.
And I sat right there like this. You know what I'm saying? But when you in that life, you in that life. What I'm saying is that I'm tired of motherfuckers exalting these dudes like they somebody, because you got the kids watching, man. You got the kids watching. When you put out these series,
these rappers.
when you put out these series and all of that, like, and you acting like you glorifying this.
The image is
What
not
are you
gonna change.
doing?
Yeah, but
It's
like,
not going to change.
But that's why I was talking about the music. So that's why I said with me, it's no like.
Well, all of it.
Yeah,
The
that's what I'm
shows, the
saying.
music, and even me, like
But
somebody that's in, in tune with the youth as far as work on a daily basis. I'm telling y'all, it's happening again. There's another generation of black men, not even 20-year-olds, 13-year-olds that's about to get into it again. It's not stopping.
No.
And that's what I feel like the heart of this conversation is like,
Because it's
damn,
what's cool.
will it ever stop?
Big
It's
That's why I said we
always
had
going
to-
to be cool. That's why
That's what I
I
said.
respect what he's saying, because BMF shows, all of that stuff adds to, damn, I gotta sell. Like,
It's
same thing
glorifying
you
it.
said about the in the 80s when
Yeah.
you see the bottles on the
Yeah.
floor. That shit is happening right
But
now.
you
The
can
kids is
learn
like,
from his story though. You can learn what not to do. The music,
Nah, but
the
no.
music, you not learning from the music.
So what
You're not
about
learning from that shit. That shit
But
is
if you-
kill,
if you're-
kill,
if you're
kill.
and then he's a,
touching
and then you say he's
in
a legend.
25,
Right?
you ready to do the same thing.
But the stories is only teaching the kids to do it, not to do it, right? So if you
But
looking
that's
at
how you
BMF
take 'em-
and you
that's how you
seeing
take
what
from
they,
it, though. From what you take from it,
nah,
'cause,
but
like-
the kids can't.
Cause
So
the preacher, I
you
ain't
tell
gonna-
us a message about in the show
And I'm
where
about to
you
tell
see
you.
that it was
I'm about to tell you.
to rise
Paid in
above.
full. You know what really caught me in Paid in full?
What's that?
When they kidnapped his little brother. That shit stuck with me. 'Cause I know it's levels to this shit. Like, you getting the money is good, but they don't know. Niggas would kidnap your little brother, chop his finger off. That shit stuck with me still to this day.
Right.
So people couldn't take shit away from people's stories.
The
That
consequences.
music,
I-
you're not taking it away. What you taking away from that shit? Kill, nigga.
Listen.
Fuck bitches. You getting burned or you dying. You going to jail.
But you part of the 1% as well, because I remember as a kid, my uncle, he still tells me this story to this day, that dude from my block got killed. They cut his dick off, put it in his mouth.
Dang,
Right?
What the fuck did he
As
do?
a kid, right?
What the fuck did
But
he
the
do?
thing is,
He did
right?
some heinous shit. He did
Now,
some heinous shit.
Damn.
Did that teach me not to get into certain things, or did that teach me to be mindful of what you get into and how you move?
Yeah.
So I said, oh shit, a nigga can do something like that? That means I gotta kill first.
Yeah, it's
It's all on how you take it.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. So
shout out to the
Yeah.
uncles out there, man. We
Yeah.
done mentioned the word uncle a few times on the show, and I feel like that's an undervalued
Yeah.
role, man.
Yeah.
Like, uncles is like fathers,
yeah,
man.
yeah, for sure.
So how y'all feel about the Lil Durk indictment? He just got indicted.
Another example. This shit don't stop. Look,
Yeah.
everybody.
And that's why
I
I'm
hope y'all hit a
saying
deep breath in here,
you
man.
gotta
Everybody say,
learn
oh,
from others'
shit.
mistakes, and
Hey,
there's
yo,
no,
I'ma tell you like-
there's no
I'ma tell
gray
you-
area, bro. It's
I'ma tell you
either
like
you
this,
this
right?
or that.
And
I
he's
like
that
to see
Tupac.
the
To
legends.
young guys, he's
This is
like
what I
that
like to
Tupac.
see, right?
Tupac on, you can't say Tupac.
I would say to
Tupac
the
is
yo,
not-
these
Niggas ain't
kids,
on Tupac
Durk is
level.
like,
Tupac
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
shooting
he's
at
like
police, nigga.
and when it comes to
You
hip
shoot
hop,
at police,
I'm
then
just
you
saying
ain't
to
on that level.
them, to all the little drill rap, he's in every kid I know,
Yeah,
top
yeah.
5.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mount Rushmore. We in the Bronx, we in Brooklyn. Durk is like,
Yeah.
that's why I just said Tupac, because I know the audience will understand if I put it like that.
Yeah.
But that's their, like, ain't no J. Cole, Kendrick. I don't hear none of them names.
I'm gonna tell you
I
something
hear
that I
Durk.
thought about. I'm gonna tell you something that I thought about, and a lot of people probably missed it, right?
About the Durk shit?
Yeah, the Durk. What did Durk and Diddy have in common recently?
Write that in the comments, y'all.
Besides going to jail,
I don't know. I don't follow Durk
Power.
no more.
politicians in their city
I used to
gave
follow
them the
Durk.
key to the city.
Oh, yeah.
When
to follow
politicians
Durk.
get involved with
I
that
don't
type
follow
of
no
stuff,
more.
there's a definite agenda. They know that these rappers got influence. They know that these rappers have money.
seen the election.
They know that people are bought and sold every day, right? They grasp these dudes, man, because they got political power. They got voting power, man. Voting power is very important in the United States of America, as you see.
Got influence.
You know what I'm saying? Like Trump right now, he controls the House and the Senate. That's big. And he has the chance to appoint another United States Supreme Court judge if Sotomayor decides to step down because she was sick. You know how big that is? You know how you could shape and mold everything that's going on in America just by the laws that you put down?
100%.
That's what people don't realize. Black people started waking up. You know what I'm saying? They started
wake
getting
up.
that money. They have
We-
access to money,
we waking
resources, and all that. So imagine if you have access to money, resources, and you able to influence the people because the people look up to you. You could tell them, hey, vote for
We just
Boom.
seen this election.
Vote for Boom.
We seen
Vote
it
for
this
that
election.
person.
They shaking
And
ass at the election.
that's what they fear. So now what they gonna start doing? All of those rappers, all of them people that talk about empowering black people, we need to vote, and they feel as though they can really make a difference. Whatever dirt they got on them, they gonna push it now, and they gonna lock them up and get them out the way. You had no more money, you can't cause no more
They've
mischief.
been doing that shit.
Do you believe the
Indicted.
politicians knew about what they was doing first, or like what? I'm trying to connect it.
I think the politicians, all of this is by design, man. I know these people play a good game of chess, man. You know, nothing under the sun is really new.
Correct.
If you go back in history, you'll see the same thing playing out.
Do you think
But
that
just in a
Chicago's mayor knew that Durk was paying people to kill people? Allegedly. Do you think they knew that?
Of course.
Yeah, I ain't gonna front.
Of course.
You think they knew?
Yeah, only
Of
because
course.
one, he already
I
has
don't
like
think
If you listen
he
to
got
his
a criminal
music.
record. And two,
Yo, he like this.
he promote all of the.
Yeah.
And three, O Block is like a.
That's King Von
If
Man.
you a mayor, you gotta do your research. It's like he comes straight from. I was shocked. I ain't gonna front. As an educator, I was like, they gave him the key. Oh,
That
you
shit don't
doing,
mean
man?
nothing. You see
It's
that
like,
shit? That shit's about money.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Shit
saying.
don't mean nothing.
but I'm just saying, like
He
it
probably was
just
trying to
it
change
threw me
up.
off though. He was changing. I heard it. I seen it.
And
But
they
I was just
grabbed
like,
him like,
damn.
you better turn these niggas Muslim. You gotta get this nigga up out of there. He changing. He some wise enough. Know why? Because
It
his
looked
father
like he
came
was
home.
changing.
His father came home.
Nah.
Well, you
Yeah,
know
the
his
man
In
is
public,
like-
it looked like he was
But you
shit.
know his peoples was Larry Hoover and all of that.
His pop, yes, I'm saying his
I
pop
mean,
was giving him
yeah.
structure and showing
What's
this
the
nigga like,
dude
yo,
name?
you better.
Not Larry, what's his name, man?
I think it is Hoover, Larry Hoover.
What's his name? Hoover?
King.
That's-
It's
It's
two of them.
Yeah,
It's Larry
Larry
Hoover and Jeff Ford.
Yeah, Jeff Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
from
like,
out of
but
Chicago.
like, all right. So what's one takeaway that we take away from Durk? 'Cause Durk, man, wore a wire. Let's get to that. This man
God.
wore a wire for 7 years.
Uh,
The streets is over.
yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
over. That's
I
why
mean,
we having this over.
I
bro.
hope y'all understand
Fuck
it.
the
You know what I mean?
music.
Because this to me
You
was
listen
a
to
great
that shit. You
conversation
you
because
do
it
that.
all
Fuck that shit.
it all comes to
Yeah.
that
It's
analogy
the
of like
music. That's why I'm
it ain't
saying
worth it.
is like
What I said, the betrayal, man. The betrayal.
7 years,
boy.
bro.
Yeah.
I know the
He
feeling.
gave him bread. He broke bread with the nigga. I'm seeing videos breaking bread with the nigga like 7 years.
Well, he said it
bro.
earlier. I don't think. I mean, when it comes down to it, nobody really wants, especially the dudes I noticed that was
A nigga
incarcerated.
looking out for
They
you,
know.
bro.
I know a young dude like he didn't want to go to jail so bad that like whatever work he had, he swallowed it and he ended up passing away.
Yeah, yeah. Which
It-
they said that other rapper did that on the plane.
Oh, Juice WRLD.
Yeah, started swallowing shit and passed away.
It's
What's
like
your
All
take- what's
dudes
your
that I
take on,
know was deep into that and was really putting in that work, man. They don't want to be part of that no more, man.
So your take on the
And
ride,
they
like,
and they
people getting tired of it.
disappointed with all this shit that's going on
Oh.
out here, man.
Durk, man, is a prime example of what I was saying earlier. People don't have no more time in them. Because he already did all that time prior to that. Now he's out. They killed his baby mother. Dude is like, I'm not going back to jail.
Yeah.
So he snitched on his best man. That's
Durk
giving him
was
money.
taking care of the nigga.
Yes.
yeah,
But he ain't had
in
no
them
more time.
circumstances, it's like I ain't doing it.
Correct. And
Bro,
Because that's what I said.
for 7 years?
That's why I think these conversations is important because the truth is, no matter how much we glorify it, most of these dudes still don't want to do the time.
correct.
They will do it and they will get through it, but they don't want to do that shit. Nobody. And look what he said. He just broke it down. The squad alone, the visual in my head, I'm like,
Check this out.
I'm ready to go to the
Motherfucker-
library right now. Nigga, I don't
Motherfucker
want
accept a motherfucker accept a gift from you. They accept money from you and all that, but they ain't gotta like you. They can envy you deep down inside.
My whole take on this shit
You're just
was
waiting for the opportunity to get you out
the
the way.
Durk shit. A lot of niggas played the part in it saying slide back for Vaughn. And I have a podcast. That's why I don't fuck around. I know what comes from nigga. My man used to rap. I know this shit is deep. Like bro, these lyrics be deep. Niggas said, yo, slide back for Vaughn. Niggas troll him in his comments. Slide back for Vaughn. And now when he did it, niggas get upset. And like, oh,
Yo, you
he's
stupid.
a
I seen
dickhead. But nigga, Vaughn would have done for you. And then like my other thing, Hadi said betrayal. I learned betrayal is deep. And the other thing I learned, I ain't showing niggas love no more, and fear is stronger than love. Cause all the love Durk showed that nigga when it's time to do that time, nah.
They don't have it in
So
them.
I learned that fear is stronger than love, bro. So all that you show the nigga love, when that nigga life is on the line, or he about to get that time, what? Zip me up, J. Reed. I in the cop, J. Reed.
I think because of the Chicago culture, right? Specifically O Block, whether Durk was Durk, the rapper or not, they would have still did something, right? Because that's just part of their upbringing and that
And
shit.
Chief Keef was the smartest one. Shout out to Keef, the smartest one. You got the
Got
fuck
outta
up
there.
out of there, bro.
I heard they
Fuck
ran
all
him
that.
out of there.
Even
Probably did.
even better.
Chief
Nigga, even better. They ran him. Fuck it. At least he's alive.
But I think it's also like a bully culture too, because it's like it's no way out. Trying to better yourself is like once you win, you win. Trying to better yourself, they gonna look at you a certain way. They gonna judge you a certain way. Like
That's true.
only way you could do it is by taking that title and understanding people might not rock with you. You might not be, the highest ranking. No, you know what I mean. But you got it. You want to live. You want to change.
I feel like we gotta stop being man and calling niggas out on they bullshit, man. Fuck it. It comes when you want to fight me. It is what it is, man. It's like. We can't keep being in the shadows because this shit gonna keep going on. He got kids. He got kids. Niggas about to have kids. So like niggas kids gonna keep going through this shit if we don't stand up and like nah fuck that shit, nigga. That's corny. What you doing is corny. Niggas don't want to. I ain't calling them up because I don't want the problems. No, nigga.
That's why I said I was down with KRS-One and all them. Like when they did that big song Self-Destruction, everybody jumped on that. That was a movie.
I'm really for this shit, bro. Cause I was one of them little niggas listening to that shit. That shit is, bro. That music is a vibration.
It's brainwashing.
You know what? Kendrick said
in
something
the
like
hood
that
too.
in his album. He dropped the album
You in
today.
the hood, so that shit's the vibration. That shit flows with it, nigga. Like you going through that shit, spinning. You going through that. Oh, he talking about nigga. I'm going through the same shit. That's how I see it. That's why that music shit. I can't fuck with that shit, bro. That's how I listen. You see my call. Listen to Nipsey. Listen to the motivation shit to get bread. I can't listen to that shit because I know niggas that's really for me.
Check this out. Kendrick said that niggas is mad at him because he said the shit that they was scared to say. Right?
That's what I'm saying, nigga. That's why, nigga, I wanted to go away with this shit now, bro.
What Kendrick said?
Nah, let's
Shit
call
that
the nigga
that
out.
we saying today.
The party is dead. All of this shit. That's why
Yeah.
I'm like, I do think we in a time right now where like it's a whole battle right now. You got a lot of people that are denouncing all of the bullshit.
Right.
That's why I'm gonna go back to my gym of the day. I feel like is when will everybody listen? I feel like I don't know. Maybe it'll be too good, so maybe we can't have everybody listen. But to me, it's like clear as day right now. Like yo, I see somebody still going this way. I'm starting to think you retarded, bro. Because it's like it's too many dudes that did time that got podcasts. It's too much messages. Kendrick is the biggest star in the world. He denounced it.
Correct.
It's like yo, y'all running from their answers at this point.
My thing is, what you out in the street for, man? For what? It's
Shout
no money.
out
It's
to
no
D1.
money out.
D1 started off. Cat Williams started off. Niggas, we started off. You gotta start calling niggas out on this bullshit. Niggas be scared. D1, he called niggas out.
Dudes out in the
He
street.
called niggas
Came
out,
at Rick Ross head.
But
Like,
this is either there's no gray area. Niggas be playing the gray area too much, bro. You stand for it or not? You with the shit or not? Niggas be, I don't want to know, because this is the poison. Niggas 50 years old in the lobby with niggas.
But listen,
Fuck
these
are you
niggas have
doing?
learning
Messages out there,
disabilities.
y'all.
They have learning disabilities, right? So we have mental health issues in this thing, right?
There you go.
Yeah, so
That's what I think it is. That's what I'm starting to think.
Trauma leads to those mental health issues.
Yeah.
If you didn't get help, and a lot of us, we don't want to get help. We don't want to say, hey, we need some help.
correct, because they make it look crazy, like
Make us look weak.
Yeah.
We need some
Niggas should
help.
like hope. Niggas should have been gave Diddy hope. Niggas seen he was doing at them parties for years. Niggas seen what he was doing.
But he was the
Why niggas
bad.
didn't get that nigga no help?
Now, speaking of the word help, one thing I would like to do is go around, you know what I mean? Like, if you had a position, you know what I mean, to reach those kids, the ones that might have the mental health, the ones that might have the trauma, what would you do? Like, the mayor sitting down with you, the budget is here, the grants is here. What do you think is the answer, and what would you do with your budget in your city to help those young men?
I would have
Let's go around with that.
like a program, like a Big Brother program, do shit with them, talk to them on every level. Ask him about his mental health. Ask him for like what you like to do. Play basketball, do activities with him, take him out, eat with him, just build with him. Because a lot of niggas don't even know how to communicate.
To a Big Brother mentor
That was me
program.
at
All
one
right.
age. I didn't know how to communicate, nigga. I used to fight. I'm tight. I want to fight you. That's what I'm saying. So
I like
learn
that
how
one.
this talk in the Big Brother program. Let's talk. Chop it
So
over.
I would create some sort of institution that teach them skills, right? Skills that they want, they are into at that moment, right? So right now, if I look at what's popular for kids, right? YouTube, Twitch,
yeah.
right? Streaming, right? So how do I create a program that gets them engaged in that, but turn it into something positive, right? Because they're only gonna do more of what they like.
Yes.
right? And if that's what they like, that's what they're gonna do. So that's what I would do.
That's dope.
And they have to get paid.
Oh yeah,
There have to be an incentive to
You
that,
gotta get
right?
paid.
I'm gonna go to what I was talking about, forming a coalition with some of these dudes that did 20, 30, did all of this time, who was really out in those streets, man, who are now like redeemed because, like they say, I go to the science of the brain, man. We are never fully mature as far as our brains until like around 25, 26. Most of us get knocked off doing stupid shit before that time. You know what I mean? Now, while you in there, because I was in there, I know the process of transitioning into a man, maturing, growing past that bullshit. So it is a process. We all get caught up. The thing is, like, while you caught up, do you really want to make a conscious decision to grow? Sometimes you got people who push you to grow. You know what I mean? I was one of those dudes that pushed them younger dudes to grow. They come in there, they ask me for chips and all of that, soups and stuff like that. They don't have no commissary. I got plenty commissary. You know what I mean? But I'm like, yo, where your gang at? Where your gang at? Where your big homie at? Where he at? You asking me for chips?
Call them out.
Where
That's
he
what I'm
at?
saying. You gotta start
You know what I'm
calling some
saying?
shit out.
But I do that to drive a point home that shit you into is really no loyalty there, man. It's only loyalty as long as you benefiting them at that present moment. You know what I mean? When you out the way, they could care less about you, man. They not gonna take care of your family. They not gonna take care of your kids. None of that. So as a man, you gotta realize you standing alone on this shit. I stood alone for 31. I ain't had no fucking gang. I wasn't part of a gang. None of that. You know what I mean? But I went with them myself, and dudes could see that. Leave that dude alone, man. Be serious.
Right,
You
so
know what I'm
what's
saying? He
the-
going to himself. So everybody transitions at their own time. But I say form a coalition throughout all of these troubled cities with these dudes that come home. You know what I'm saying? Have them give the real deal on the experience of being incarcerated, the streets, and all that. Show videos, the whole 9 yards. And one thing I said, I showed to some of the younger kids that think all of this street shit is cool. I turn on the first 48 hours, because all of them motherfuckers on there be snitching. All of them. Tattoos on the face, tattoos here, part of this gang, that gang, all that. Guess what? I was along for the robbery, but I didn't know he was gonna kill somebody, to the point niggas was crying in there. Now you not so
Eating that
fucking
good
tough.
McDonald's.
Now you ain't so tough. Now you're not so tough. So they need to see that. Them kids need to see that before they get out there in them streets. They need to see that, man. So that needs to be a program that's implemented into schools, elementary schools, and all of that. Especially in our communities, man. That's what I think will stop a lot of that shit. Because a lot of dudes don't know everything that comes with that life, man. They don't.
All right. So what's your take on it?
For me, thinking about, majority of the time we spend K through 12, you know what I mean? I think that's one thing that we all have in common, you know what I mean? You got to go to kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. I mean, some people drop out, of course, but this is like the only mandated thing that we all have in common. So I would make sure that character development is just as important as ELA, math, science, social studies. Like, you got to get this every year. Just how they give us these same subjects over and over. We all know we got to take math, science, same classes. Character development has to start
What would be an
from
example
kindergarten. You got to learn the words, the loyalty, the word discipline. You have to learn the word kindness. You have to you got to learn that. So by the time you get to high school, this shit is instilled in you. So now you know, like, even when you're going against the grain, you're gonna feel it in you, because like, damn, this is the shit that. And we the teachers. Right. And guess what? The teacher's not getting paid the bum ass salary because it's like, oh, it's not important. Nope. Correct. That teacher getting $100K to come in here and teach character development, and you are assigned, it's going to the rigor. Kindergarten, you might learn kindness, but by the time you get to 9th grade, you're learning what to do in your community to have an effect on your community. So when you graduate now as a senior, you've done so many things. Community service is a part of it. You know what I mean? So you've seen so many different things and ways to develop your character, and I ain't gonna front. In short, your character is already developed. So that's the still. It's like your character's already developed by the time you graduated because this shit was instilled in you from a kid.
You know what that tells me? And it goes back to my original point. The parents are not parenting because character development starts in the home, right? But if we got to come to school to learn it, what are the parents doing home?
Right.
We need fucking more fathers, man.
That's gonna have to be a whole nother episode. Because parenting is really the foundation of all this shit. And I was gonna say, people unfortunately shouldn't even have kids. If you're not ready, don't even fuck with it. Cause that shit as I'm raising my son now, I'm looking at it. I'm like, damn, this shit is day to day. It's like if I read with him. If I read with him, he get better with words. If I don't read with him, he don't get better with words. 100%. It's all on me. If I take him to the zoo and I take him to the park and I say, yo, this is that, now he know.
Correct.
If I sit in the car and just don't say shit, then he ain't gonna say nothing either.
100%.
It's all on me. If you put him in a private school, he gonna get that private school shit. You put him in a regular school, he gonna get that. So it's like, if the fruits and vegetables from a baby, he gonna like them at 5.
100%.
Give him the Capri Suns and all that shit.
Yeah, and
he want the sugar.
Right?
So I'm really like, damn, I'm controlling your
100%.
whole shit. So the truth is, parenting is the root of all this
100%.
shit. You know what I mean? Your father's a pastor, you know church.
100%.
Your father's a boxer, you got the gloves on from the start.
100%.
My father was a dancer. My father wrote music. I knew how to move. You know what I mean? It's like it's rooted in us. So
you need that
parenting the foundation.
You need mother and father in the household because all come from the household.
And they gotta want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying.
I wanted to marry my shorty before I had a kid, only because look how ill this was. I thought about my kids saying my parents met in college. So when I had a baby, I literally planned this whole thing, and now I'm looking at kids. It's like my parents met in college. I thought about that shit long before these kids was here. I just wanted them to say my parents met in college and they was married. So no matter what happens to me and my wife, they gotta say that. You gotta say my parents met in college and they was married before they even had me.
Now
that's
you're
their
able
story.
to do that. Now I had a conversation like this yesterday, a 3-way conversation, right? So my mother had 4 kids before she was 22. I'm the 4th one, right?
Ooh.
But she was thinking about it. My sister's like, she was born in like 72 or something like that, right? So 22-year parent raising 4 kids.
Ooh.
Like 22s.
That's what I'm saying. And
Single
that was
parent?
then.
And that was
by
then.
herself?
Single parent, by herself.
Single parent.
Right? So she didn't have the opportunity to make the decision you made and say my parents met there. 22 in the 70s.
It's on now.
Yeah. Right? So it's kind of, I think the eras play a part too, right? But I would pretty much go with what you're saying is like.
We had a great, but we got one more segment. How y'all feel about the Jeezy Moolah situation?
Who?
The Jeezy Moolah situation. The rapper from Brooklyn, he got caught up.
Like enlighten that situation.
Situation like he was doing some time in jail, and then him and some dude had problems, and they allegedly they say
the Chinaman dude.
Oh, that's the scammer dude.
Yeah.
Allegedly they saying murder for hire.
Yeah.
So like my take on it, he had potential with his rapping shit. He had potential. He was his own man. He was setting the trends. He had niggas following him, and I feel like he got cause when you scamming, that shit come with a lot. You could be pussy, but then he's gonna rob you, and then you're gonna get tired of getting robbed. How you said earlier, you're gonna get tired of that shit. Then you're gonna start toting the gun. You know you're toting the gun, you're gonna go to jail. So like you gotta, that shit gonna force you to be something you not. And
but he was gang though.
He was scamming at first, and then he was getting his bread, and then he started with the gang shit. But
he started gang after the scamming?
Yeah.
What?
They come with that shit because niggas trying to rob you. You know when the scamming nigga, they think you sweet. So like how you said earlier, you gotta fight the fight, and some niggas ain't with that shit.
Fight or flight.
And then he got caught up, and now I'm like, damn, they trying to.
I like what he said about
shit.
the mental health, man, because it's a mental health issue out here, man.
Yeah.
People have unresolved like issues, man, that they didn't get over. Then you got poverty out here, man. Poverty and crime go hand in hand.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So when people not eating right, or they see somebody else doing the things that it creates frustration, man. And that's what leads to the mental health and all that. You start abusing drugs, or, you know, that shit take you somewhere. So it's not it's a real intricate
that and cultural
complicated situation, man.
So we just gonna go around. It's part of the podcast when we say.
But I think how you said starting in kindergarten, I think if a lot of this was part of the curriculum in kindergarten and catered to like stopping like what we talking about now, that a lot of these kids wouldn't get caught up, man. And then, like you said, you gotta protect. Like, men are protectors, man. I wasn't protected, man. Like, my uncles, I wouldn't say that they was men, man. They didn't protect me. They exposed me to shit.
You know what I mean? Wasn't getting raised by men, so it's like the cycle. You gotta,
shit, man. The stuff that I like, even nowadays, right? I wouldn't even like do certain stuff around children, man. I wouldn't. I'd be like, nah, don't do that now. Shorty right here. But when I was growing up, yo, I was seeing my grandpops cut up coke, man, triple beam scales, all of that, serving customers right in front of my face. They come to the crib, play chess with them, and some of them dudes come, they buy the coke and they sniffing coke right there.
Dang.
I'm seeing this shit.
That's a fact. You're not lying. That's how that shit be.
I'm seeing this shit.
But this is the day of the podcast. We going around and take gym of the day. So start it up, Ron. What's your gym of the day, man?
My gym of the day, you know, it goes out to the parents, man. I feel like once you have that child, man, that responsibility is one of the realest things in the world. And if we all just open our eyes, see what's going on out here, and you know, it's never too late, man. It's never too late to try your best, work together, mom, dad, figure it out. And if not, just avoid it, man. Avoid it. Wrap up. You know what I mean? Stay to yourself. Yeah. You know what I mean? Don't do it, because the responsibility is just too great, man. You could create a president, or you could create a prisoner.
All right, D, what's your gym of the day?
My gym of the day is, man, never be afraid, like, to ask for help, man. You know what I'm saying? As men, I think that we harbor a lot of pride and ego, stuff like that, and we don't want to say, yo, man, I don't know how to do this. I'm kind of fucked. I need help. We try to figure it out on our own. We go research on our own and all that, and then when it doesn't work, so I say ask for help, man. Ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help, man. Because I asked for help, and that was a blessing for me, man. People helped me.
Let's go.
I say stay far away from the street life. Just stay away from it. That's it.
Black and white.
That's it.
I agree.
My gym of the day, it might be a long one, but my gym of the day, man, the streets is not a myth. The code is a myth. That's where you're going to get fucked up at. The code in the streets is nothing but pain, nigga. Like, my nigga, in the streets, son, like, my pops died when I was 5. I lost my pops. My brothers came home from jail. Them niggas ain't the same. The streets is nothing but pain, my nigga. So stay out of that shit. Don't. People looking cool now because they cool right now, but 5 years, 4 years, niggas ain't gonna be cool. Fuck that street shit, man. How you said coalition, build, be around like-minded people, my nigga. Let's be around like-minded people in this build.
Yeah, because it's
like,
never
like doing
too
something
late.
good. The gym helped me a lot too. That's how I learned
man.
myself. The gym, fuck with the gym, learn myself. Take time to yourself and learn yourself. That street shit, that shit is waiting for you. It's nothing but graveyards and jersey numbers, nigga. So
there you have it, man.
There you have it, man.
That was good, bro. Fellas, man.
No
Fellas,
doubt.
Fellas, that was good,
No
man.
doubt.
Let's talk that ocean. Talk to him. Let's go.